Ever find yourself waiting endlessly at a big box pharmacy, feeling like just another number? At Tablet Pharmacy, they provide the personalized service you deserve. They offer free delivery and blister packaging options to make managing your medications easier than ever. Check their competitive prices online at tabletpharmacy.ca.
Peter and Dave, they're on the mic, so right. Join the ride, it's gonna feel just right.
Welcome back to the Pulse Community Podcast. I'm Peter McCulley, and life here in mid-Vancouver Island is picking up speed as people are getting out more, plans are coming together, calendars are filling up, we can feel summer coming.
And I'm Dave Graham. I'm an early riser, and it has been nice to see the sun earlier and earlier each morning. Wow, we've had some magnificent shows of light and shadow in recent mornings. You know, I just feel special for having witnessed it. But that isn't my focus these days. I'm on a mission to clean the garage.
Yes, Dave, and how's that going?
I've been unearthing magical objects from the latter half of the 20th century. You remember the pocket fisherman and the rotary dial telephone from last week, right? Well, I found another treasure. I might even go so far as to call it a humdinger, a chop-o-matic.
What, the original infomercial classic?
I know, right? It's now a collector's item. I did some research. I could sell it online for, well, probably close to $20. Okay, that might not be a great return on investment, but how do you put a value on a life lived with less clutter, a life free of excess baggage? On the other hand, nothing can chop like the Chop-O-Matic. I mean, it slices and dices. Oh, maybe I should keep it.
And Dave, that's why it's taken you a week to get 3 steps into your garage. But if you happen to come across a cowboy hat, you might want to dust it off and get it ready for the big festival coming to Nanoose.
Oh, good thinking. I believe I actually do have a cowboy hat somewhere in there. If I recall correctly, it's in a box marked Tupperware. Anyway, Chris Buck is bringing the Boots and Boats Singer-Songwriter Festival to Nanoose Bay.
We're launching our first year in Nanoose Bay. We're bringing one on the Vancouver Island as well. It's relaxing. We do it right on the water. They get to hear great artists and great songwriters perform over 3 days. There's over 21 artists performing, so it's really cool. Not only for the artists, but for the fans attending. It's very niche, and I think they're really going to enjoy it. And the lineup is incredible this year. So much talent. Bring a lawn chair, set up, and enjoy the music in a beautiful setting.
Jim Morose joins us from the Seaside Cruizers Car Club. Every year on Father's Day, the club transforms downtown Qualicum Beach into a huge classic car show and shine with hundreds of vehicles.
We start at 5 in the morning, getting ready and then putting up barriers and parking guys getting ready. And then we start parking at 7. And by 8:30, we're parked. And that's where everybody takes a breath. As long as it's not raining. But that's where everybody takes a breath and reflects on, again, we did another good one this year. Everything's parked and now it's just up to the spectators.
That car show has become a Vancouver Island institution. The Seaside Cruisers put so much effort into this massive event. I'm starting to learn that some people actually use their garage to store their vehicles. Interesting fact.
On a future edition of the podcast, Ajay Fries of Victoria joins us to talk about his new album and his role in a new show with Kevin Kline and Laura Linney.
We'll also be talking with Tom Seawid, a Vancouver Islander who now resides in Washington State. He will be a speaker at the upcoming Squatch Watch conference in the Comox Valley. He'll join us to talk about what else? Bigfoot.
And we'll be talking gardening with Deborah Garrod, a member of the Vancouver Island Master Gardeners Association.
Oh, Peter, do me a favor. See if Deborah can refer me to someone for some specific advice on plant care. I'm hoping I might locate a mint specialist. You're shaking your head. What, is a mint specialist not a thing? Come on, I can't be the only person with mint issues.
When families are supported, our whole community thrives. That's why SOS launched For Our Families, a campaign dedicated to keeping essential and enriching SOS child, youth, and family programs open, accessible, and vibrant. You can make a donation through the SOS website, and you can help by teeing off at the first ever SOS For Our Community Golf Tournament, June 6th at Morning Star Golf Club. For just $180 per person, enjoy the driving range, 18 holes of golf, a golf cart, buffet dinner, on-course challenges, the chance to win a brand new vehicle from Parksville Chrysler, and other great prizes. Bid on great local items in the silent auction. Support local children and youth. Strengthen local families. Learn more at sosd69.com.
Ian Lindsay of Lindsay and Associates has played an active role in the local community since 1979. He has been with RE/MAX, Vancouver Island's most advanced real estate business network, since 1996, marketing and selling residential, rural, strata, recreational, investment, and project development real estate. Ian has received several awards recognizing his exceptional community commitment locally, as well as awards for outstanding performance and achievement from both RE/MAX International and the Vancouver Island Real Estate Board. You'll find true real estate professionals at ianlindsay.ca.
Congratulations to Jillian Lisbeth of Lanceville, who won tickets for two to the Rock the Range Qualicum Beach with 5440, the Steadies, and the Chris Buck Band. Stay tuned to the podcast and our website, as well as the social pages for our upcoming giveaways. We have a summer of giveaways planned.
Do we ever? There will be tickets for April Wine, Beach Fest Rocks, Blue Rodeo, and the Great Canadian Bash in Langford with Our Lady Peace and the Tea Party on the bill. Yes, I said Blue Rodeo, a top-tier Canadian band coming to this little seaside town. Wow, ticket sales did not last long. And we have tickets to give away. I know. Head to thepulsecommunity.ca or our Facebook or Instagram pages for details on all the contests.
Let's get to our first guest. Here's Marilyn.
Jim Morose joins us from the Seaside Cruizers Car Club, the volunteer-driven organization behind one of Vancouver Island's most beloved annual traditions. For more than 2 decades, the club has transformed downtown Qualicum Beach on Father's Day into a gathering place for classic car enthusiasts from across the island.
Jim, we meet again. Nice to see you. Must be getting close to car show time.
You're right on there for sure.
And we're talking the 33rd show and shine for the Father's Day weekend. And I'm wondering how that milestone settles on you.
To me, I'm sure the club would agree. It confirms the long-time acceptance of this show and the support we've received over 3 decades now from participants and the people that come out and the town of Qualicum Beach and the city of Parksville.
In terms of the people that came out, what were the numbers last year? Any idea?
We figured between 15 and 20,000 over the 3-day period. That includes the Friday night cruise, the Saturday night dance, and the Sunday show.
Remarkable for little old Qualicum. And I'm wondering how registrations are looking. They opened up early this year, and any update on that?
Yeah, they opened up early because we had a better plan. But as of today, we have 366 cars registered of 500 spots available. Plus, we'll also have 50 of our members' cars out there as well. So it confirms it's a premier show on Vancouver Island, that many cars.
I imagine you're keeping track where these people are coming from, and where do they come from?
So far, we have participants from Adria, Alberta, St. Albert, Alberta, Lumbee, BC, Friday Harbor, and then all over the Lower Mainland and Vancouver Island.
The poker run sat out last year. It's back for this year. I'm just wondering what people can expect from it.
This is a pretty special event. It's more for the people that come for the weekend and stay, so they have something to do on the Saturday morning, and then the dance on the Saturday night. But what happens is we limit it to 150 cars, and there's 6 spots that they drive around to all over the Parksville, Qualicum, and they collect playing cards in a sealed envelope. And then they bring those 6 cards back, and they discard 1 and open 5. The first best 3 hands win, and then we do draw prizes after that. So it's pretty popular.
Sounds like fun. Of course, the weekend, as you've alluded to, a 3-day event starting with the cruise night on the Friday. You want to run down some of the highlights from there?
We had over 400 cars last year, and we expect the same this year. It's open to everybody. Let's see, it's not just open to participants. Anybody can come. It's about an hour-and-a-half cruise. We snake through Parksville, Eagle Crest, and all through Qualicum, and end up back actually at Eagle Crest. So there's probably 5,000 to 8,000 people that sit along the route. You can see our route. It's on our website, www.seasidecruisers.com. Many people ask for that. We put it in the paper, but it's always on our website. That's a highlight of the weekend.
People show up and line the streets?
Yes, they do. They line the streets, the spectators. We go through a lot of residential areas. They're all out there with their lawn chairs and their drinks in their hand, and everybody's having a good time.
Already mentioned the Saturday morning poker run. You touched on the dance, and what else is happening?
Saturday morning poker run, and then Saturday night we have the street dance with the live band. This year it's going to be Grey Notes Revival. They're going to be providing live music, and then Sunday is the big show. So that's what really goes on Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
And what hours are the show?
The show starts at 9 and goes to 3. The street dance is 6:30 to 9:30. We have to have food trucks there. It starts staging at 4, and they don't leave till 7. And everybody comes down and looks at the cars there, too, so that are staged over by the old curling rink in downtown Parksville there.
About how old might the oldest vehicle be?
We've had some 29s and 30s, and yeah, there's still a lot of old vehicles. I mean, Qualicum Beach, isn't it the retirement capital of the world? Oldest average age in Canada? Yeah. So there's some beautiful vehicles. Last year we had some outstanding vehicles that were out at the show.
And in terms of the overall showing from the vehicles, is the spectrum from 20s to today reasonably well represented?
Yeah, we're trying to encourage young people to come out, so we'll even take a motorcycle if you want. We'll take any vehicle as long as it's insured. We don't see too many motorcycles out, but we do see a lot of late model cars, let's put it that way, that have been dressed up. And they mean just as much to the owner as a 32 Ford would, I think.
And what kind of an impact is the EV showing?
We have an EV section there. It's all basically new EVs that they show. But as far as EVs go, I've never seen an old car with an electric engine in it. I think it's my age group. They want to smell gas and hear the engine. So you're not getting that out of an EV at the moment.
No, just that strange electronic whine. It's kind of unsettling. You're obviously a member of the club. And tell us, what kind of vehicle or vehicles do you have?
I've got the Spectrum. I own a 73 Cuda. I took every nut and bolt out of that car, restored it about 5 years ago. I've got a 72 Chevelle convertible, and I've also got a couple of the modern Challengers. They're numbered series cars, but I'm going to bring the Chevelle this year to the show and park it in our members' parking area.
Just curious, having never done this myself, not having a vehicle worthy of it, what kind of prep, what kind of hours does it take to get a car ready for this kind of thing?
Depends on how you want it to look, but I would say 4 or 5 hours just to wash and wax it. Make it presentable, interior, exterior, trunk, engine. There's a lot of work. You probably could go up to 10 hours. Some people have them detailed for them, but there's a lot of work. The tires, the rims, to make it really nice looking. So,
do you regularly drive all your vehicles?
Yes, I do. They're all insured. Yeah, so I drive them. I don't drive them regularly, but in the summer I do, but I don't drive them every day. But in most days, I like to get out and take them for a ride. Yeah.
The 50-50 draw support local charities. Can you talk a little bit about where this show's benefits will be headed?
We are a charity car show. Like after our expenses, so net proceeds all go out to charities. So last year, we gave out $30,900 to charities. And the local charities like Aerosmith Search and Rescue, Bolinas School, Dashwood Fire Department, Arrington Elementary School Breakfast Program, Haven Society, Luma Grief and Bereavement, Mana Homeless Society, North Island Wildlife Recovery, Oceanside Recovery Center, Parksville Museum. And this lady, her name is Eva. She's close to 100 years old, and she runs a wonderful world of books. She's just an amazing lady, and we've been donating to her for the last couple of years. Yeah. And the members vote on who we donate to, so that's good.
That covers my next question. That is a wonderful list. Of course, as for the car show itself, the Oprah famously listed this event as one of the top things to do on Father's Day. Does that amazing announcement of hers still echo today?
It does, but I don't hear it as much as I used to, let's put it that way. It's been probably 15 years now since she said it. She does own a house in West Van, from my knowledge, on the ocean.
In terms of the folks that come out to these things, are you seeing a good representation from all ages?
For spectators, we are, for sure. It's a big Father's Day tradition, typically around here. As far as participants' cars, we're trying to entice the younger people to come out. I think some of the younger people believe that they need a $100,000 car to park in our show, and they don't. As long as it's an insured car and they love it, we welcome the car. That's how we get 500 cars.
We have the cars, the food trucks, as you mentioned, vendors and sponsored displays, Shriner's Pancake Breakfast. It's a long day. I'm just curious, is this one of those things that as soon as 1 year's over, you're starting on the next?
Oh, yeah. We take about a month off, and then we start again. Like this year, we changed our trophies. We went from the standing trophies. Now we're doing metal art. So we had to do all that. And then every year we have to update our website and our registration page. And you're always doing something.
I'm curious to know how many people it takes to put this whole thing together.
The volunteers alone, like the club, there's probably about 60 of us that do that. And then we also have the Dashwood Fire Department, and this year Qualicum Beach Fire Department will man the gates, and they will run the 50-50 draws, and they will be the recipient of the half. They receive the money that we pay out.
How long have you been associated with the club?
I think it's about 5 or 6 years now. I've been president for 4. I always say I drew the short straw, but I quite enjoy doing what I'm doing. For the near future, I'll continue to do it, but our problem is that our members obviously are getting older and older by the year. The trick would be to entice some young people to come and join the club and then take over and keep running it.
On the day of the Sunday, are you just run off your feet busy? Do you have some moments to be able to soak it all in and enjoy the event?
That's a good question. We start at 5 in the morning, getting ready and then putting up barriers and parking guys getting ready. And then we start parking at 7. And by 8:30, we're parked. And that's where everybody takes a breath, as long as it's not raining. But that's where everybody takes a breath and reflects on, again, we did another good one this year. Everything's parked, and now it's just up to the spectators. Yeah, for me, it's just seeing the joy in the people's faces when they look at these cars. It makes you feel good.
Thanks to Jim Morose and all the volunteers at the Seaside Cruizers Car Club for the incredible work they put in every year. The Father's Day Show and Shine in downtown Qualicum Beach is one of those events that brings the community together. You'll find links in our story notes at thepulsecommunity.ca.
If you have someone in mind that you think we should be talking to, then please speak to us. You can reach us and leave a voice or a text message. Head to our website, click on the contact link. You'll find links to all of our podcasts, plus events, contests, and Vancouver Island webcam links at thepulsecommunity.ca.
A reminder that you can also find us on Apple, Amazon, iHeart, Spotify, TikTok, and YouTube. We're also on Facebook and Instagram.
There's exciting news for book lovers. Fireside Books in Parksville now has a second location in Port Alberni. The Bookworm. Used books are just $5 or less. The Bookworm on the corner of Redford and Anderson opens 7 days a week from 10 to 5. Building your personal library for less. Fireside Books at 464 Island Highway East in Parksville is a book dragon's dream come true. Browse their extensive collections 7 days a week. Both locations make growing your personal library easier than ever. New and used books and so much more. Order online at firesidebooks.ca and pick up at either location. Details available online. Ask about returning books for a book credit. Fireside Books and The Bookworm. 2 locations, one amazing adventure in browsing.
Ever find yourself waiting endlessly at a big box pharmacy, feeling like just another number? There's a better way. At Tablet Pharmacy, they provide the personalized service you deserve. Check their competitive prices online at tabletpharmacy.ca before you even leave home. They offer free delivery and blister packaging options to make managing your medications easier than ever. With convenient locations in Parksville, Qualicum Beach, and now open in Nanaimo near the Brick, Tablet Pharmacy has been serving Vancouver Island since 2019. Stop being just a prescription number. Experience the Tablet Pharmacy difference today. Visit them online and check their prices at tabletpharmacy.ca.
So, Dave, you say you have a cowboy hat, and that kind of has me wondering if that means that you're a country music fan.
Well, I did go line dancing once, but I don't own cowboy boots or a jacket with fringes, if that gives you any idea of where I stand on the issue. I have come to appreciate, though, country music more and more over the years. All those songs about somebody doing somebody wrong, and then someone drives their pickup truck someplace, and then there's stuff about whiskey and crying, and, well, that's country music.
Really? Well, I think Chris Buck might have something to say about that.
I think between me and Chris, who is an actual musician, writing and recording and performing actual country songs, only one of us knows what he's talking about.
Well, let's bring him on, Dave. Here's Marilyn.
Chris Buck traded BC for Nashville, but never lost his roots along the way. With a gold record, multiple BCCMA awards, over 13 million streams, and a brand new 90s-inspired album, the Chris Buck Band is writing the next big chapter in Canadian country music and bringing the Boots and Boats Festival to Nanoose Bay.
Thanks for joining us on the Pulse podcast today, Chris. I'm looking forward to our chat.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. Appreciate it.
Now, you started the Chris Buck Band after losing your best friend to cancer at just age 13. That's a very profound beginning to a music career, or did you know it would be a career?
I didn't, but I know he was a very talented guitar player, a lot better than me, and I wanted to keep the dream going with him in the back of my mind. I started playing the bar scene, I guess it was in like 2012, and we did the bar scene for years, and one thing led into the next, and then started getting some radio play, and it's been a slow climb.
All good things are.
That's what they say.
What was the country music scene like when you were coming up?
I grew up in Ontario. A lot of people don't know that, in a place called Midland Penetang, which is near Barrie. Lived in the lower mainland of Vancouver during high school, and then I spent the last 7 years down in Nashville. And I recently just moved up to the Okanagan, and I love it up here. It's got a lot of great artists actually in this area. It's been really cool.
And a lot of great wine to go with all that great beer.
Yes, a lot of great wine and some great lakes too.
Who were your earliest musical influences, Chris?
I really loved Johnny Cash. I really loved Bob Marley, which saw people are like, huh? I listened to a lot of Bob Marley growing up. Bob Seger growing up. Steve Earle, I've seen him play live, really cool. Really a lot of the early 90s country, big fan of that growing up.
I read somewhere that you said you sang Alan Jackson at your very first karaoke contest. Was that a regular thing for you, out singing karaoke?
That's how I started. Like, I don't think I was a very good singer at the beginning, but my friend's mom owned a karaoke company. One thing led to the next, where I started running some shows and I entered some contests. The first song I ever sang was Chattahoochee in a contest, and I ended up winning it. And then my friends, they were like, you got to do country full time, man. It's totally your voice. And I've been singing country ever since. So it's like the kind of, I guess, the path I was going down.
You've been around a little bit. Let's talk about some of these moves you've made. You made the move from Lake Country to Nashville, which is a pretty massive leap. Of course, Nashville's full of incredibly talented artists. How do you hang on to your musical identity in an environment that is designed to push you towards a more commercial sound?
I was pretty lucky in the sense when I moved up to Lake Country during the beginning of the pandemic, I actually got a publishing deal 2 months after buying the place up here, which kind of made it a little easier to go back down because I had some work down there with a company named Anthem Entertainment out of Nashville. So saying that, though, my wife quit her job and sold her car, and she supported me down there for a few years. And it's a lot of competition down there. I was writing usually 2 songs a day, 5 days a week in an office. It was very intense writing. It can drain you creatively doing that. I think I got to a couple points a few times where I just didn't even enjoy it because it was just so much. Where do you get the inspiration from? I don't know. It was almost robotic in a way. I did learn a lot. I've written with the best writers in the world, and I just take that into my music, and also a lot of the Canadian artists I still write with.
And who are you writing with?
A lot of upcoming Canadian artists, mainly. Like, I just wrote a song with Emerson Drive. I just sent a song the other day that I wrote to Brett Kissel, and he responded right away saying he loved it. So I'm like pitching songs as well. I write with an artist named Zach McPhee, who I think he had a #1. Another guy named Josh Stump, who's got a top 10 right now. A guy named Sully Burles, who just had a top 40. So a lot of these younger artists coming up, I've been writing with them, and it's been great. And just getting the opportunity to do that with them.
And they all have great country names, every one of them that you mentioned.
That's true. Not as good as Buck, though.
No, that's a tough one to beat. Then you packed everything up and came back to Canada.
Yeah, the deal, it's a little bit different. They can option out. So I did 4 years with Anthem on the last deal. And I don't know, I think I wrote near 500 to 600 songs with them over that time. So they have quite a large catalog of my songs. So a lot of times, typically, they'll move on to a different writer because they already have such a large catalog of yours. So I wouldn't say it was unexpected, but it brought us back to Canada, which now I look at was a really great thing. But at the time, you're like, oh, I'm done as a songwriter, you know. But literally, when I was crossing the border to come back into Canada, I got an email from a company out of Toronto. They're called Arts and Crafts, and they're an independent publishing company. I didn't even know there was Canadian publishing songwriting companies, but I signed a deal with them 4 months ago. It's the crazy way the world works out. So now I Zoom write. So I'm pretty much just doing the same thing, but writing over the phone now. Life has a funny way of sometimes working things out that you may not see.
It's interesting to see that you have this next chapter going because you've racked up multiple BC CMA awards. You've had a CCMA nomination. over 13 million streams. By some measures, you've already had a significant career.
I feel very blessed, very fortunate just to pay my bills doing what I love. I remind a lot of younger artists as well. I say, if you're paying your bills doing what you love, you already won, because I guess you in your head, you're always chasing the number ones or chasing the stadium tours and stuff like that. And that's great and all, but like, it's a roller coaster ride. Sometimes you're riding the high of top 20 singles, and sometimes you don't get them for 5 years. It's tough. It's a tough industry. And at the end of the day, if you can pay your bills doing what you love, you've won. That's the way I look at it.
I did want to ask you a question about Nashville. Canadian country artists often face that challenge of breaking into the U.S. market while maintaining their Canadian identity. How did you think about that balance? Was cracking the American market part of your goal? And if so, how did you try and protect that Canadian identity of yours?
Yeah, that's a great question. Obviously, the goal is to break out in the States. It wasn't really so much on my bucket list. I think I was down there just to learn and get in the rooms. But saying that, being a Canadian, I find a lot of Canadian artists will try to start acting like they're from the South or they're American. And I'm like, I know where you're from. Because a lot of them down there said I sound very Canadian when I talk, and I didn't have a problem with that. I think great songs are great songs. It's your identity. But like you said at the very beginning, it's a grind down there. There's so much competition. You'll walk into a restaurant and the waiter's a better singer, guitar player than you are. And you're like, man, what am I doing here? You know, like, it's one of those towns. But I think if anyone goes down there, it's to push you to become better. And that's what I noticed. When you're down there, you're there to learn and you're there to get better because it's around you every single day, that environment. So that was my takeaways from it. Speaking of like younger artists, I want to break out in the US now. Like I've had long chats with a bunch of labels down there, and a lot of them are looking for younger kids that have a huge TikTok following, or they already have a big fan base already built in to what they're doing. And they're taking more interest in that rather than going down Broadway in Nashville and finding a great band there. Like that was, I think, years ago. It might still happen, the odd occasion, but they're looking for numbers. Unfortunately, I hate to say it, but you got to be online. You got to be posting every day about your music. And for me, I'm not the type of person to do that. It's a lot of work, but the industry has changed. That's where things are at, the way I see it right now.
Question about your Answers album, which won Album of the Year at the BC CMA Awards. What questions were you trying to answer with that record, and did you find them?
I don't think so. I don't think I found any answers from it, but I started writing that album right after a long breakup before my wife. So a lot of the songs were a fresh start kind of thing. But no, I did not find any answers to answer your question.
Sorry, I had to ask. Now, you have spoken openly about your sobriety journey. For our listeners who may be on a similar path, what advice might you offer?
It's a slippery substance, you know, especially being in the music industry. Everyone wants to drink and party, especially being down south. Every night you go out, you can drink, and you get caught into these pattern routines. And I think by me taking a long time off it, it's a relationship with a substance. And some people just don't react well to the substance. I always got that really bad feeling in the morning. Like I said something wrong the night before, where I'd wake up and go, oh, what did I do last night? I got to a point where I didn't want to feel like that anymore. And I was like, I don't want to live like this anymore. So I just realized the path I was going on wasn't going to get me farther ahead. It's tough. It's tough to give up something like that. I think in your heart, if you want to do better, you got to be disciplined and really do it. And that's really what it comes down to, is you wanting to do it. And like, how many times are you going to go out and make the same mistakes and not learn from it? That was kind of where I was at. The odd time I may have a drink to celebrate now, but it's not the same as it was before. I don't go out to do that anymore. That's just not who I am.
I wanted to ask you a question about appearing live. You've headlined some of Canada's biggest country music festivals. There's the Boots and Hearts, the Stampede, of course, Rockin' River, Big Valley Jamboree. When you're standing there looking out at the crowd, what goes through your mind?
Fun. I think those are the fun shows where it looks like a bunch of bumblebees. You can't even see people's faces. There's so many people. I get more nervous when I'm in a room of 6 people playing an acoustic set. Those big stages are fun for me. That's something you look forward to. And then obviously the best part is if you see some people singing the words back you've wrote, that's always the highlight for me.
I do recall years ago seeing Garth Brooks when he was in Canada. Nobody sat down. I'm standing there for 2 hours. And the other thing that crossed my mind was everybody around me was singing every word to every song.
Yeah.
And I thought, I wonder how Garth feels about that.
Probably pretty good, unless he can hear the off-pitch ones through his ears.
You mentioned collaborating with some of these youngsters writing songs, but you've had a chance to collaborate with Gord Bamford, who is the most decorated artist in Canadian country music. I think he's got 26 CCMA awards on the song Cowboy Boots.
I think I sent him that song and said, hey, Gord, here's a good one for you to cut. And he always liked it. And then I said, if you're not going to cut it, I am. And he's like, oh, I really like it. And I was like, why don't we just do it together? And it was actually a very easy process. Gord's got such a good country voice. The song just fit him. And Gord's a great guy. I really enjoyed spending time with Gord. And like you said, he's done it. He's done all he can do in Canada. He's gotten all the awards and he's played every town in Canada, I'm pretty sure. Just good to meet guys like that, be around them.
Now, your new album is described as a 90s-inspired record channeling artists like Brooks and Dunn. I hear a little George Strait in there. What brought you back to the rootsy classic sound?
I grew up on that stuff, and I always wanted to do like an old 90s / Brooks and Dunn, Steve Earle record. I just felt the way the country music scene was going. It was going very pop, so I chased what everybody else was doing. I was like, well, this is what they're playing. I'm going to do it. Never really felt like me, though. It's hard for me to say that now that we're talking about it. So this is the first album. I used my own money. I went in. I wrote these songs, some of them 4 or 5 years ago, and I just did an old school country album. And the new single, 1 2 Step, I just found out it has cracked the top 40. It's really cool to see a song, like you said, it sounds like George Strait, a little bit older, just get that love again at country radio. It was very unexpected. I didn't expect it as an independent artist right now to be in that place. So I guess the message for anyone listening is you really just got to do what you love and not worry about all the other noise or what everybody else is doing. And it took me about 20 years to figure that one out. Hopefully that's some good advice for someone out there, you know, write songs that you're passionate about.
This old dive bar is a good place to mend a broken heart. Got the best bartender, as long as you tip her, she'll get you on gone. There's iridescent fluorescent, so many girls in them Stetsons, they just keep pouring through that door. So it's 1 step, 2 steps, sawdust floor. Lord, I don't want to hurt anymore. I'm getting over you, 1 2 step at a time. When I hear the band, I grab the hand of a stranger. I wish it was you. You said we were through, so I'm dancing you right out of my mind. 1 2 step at a time. I'm out here spinning, watching merry-go-round. Since Miss Right left me, I'm showing off my 2 left feet to every girl in town. I'm getting over you, 1 2 step at a time. When I hear the band, I grab the hand of a stranger. I wish it was you. You said we were through, so I'm dancing you right out of my mind. 1 2 step at a time. I'm getting over you, 1 2 step at a time. When I hear the band, I grab the hand of a stranger. I wish it was you. You said we were through, so I'm dancing you right out of my mind. 1 2 step at a good time.
Chris, you launched the Boots and Boats Singer-Songwriter Festival at Turtle Bay at the marina in Lake Country. I read somewhere that said the idea came from showing some of your Nashville friends photos of the Okanagan and judging their reaction.
It actually was starting as a songwriting retreat where we'd meet and write, and it's obviously a beautiful part of the world. One of my close friends here is like, you should do it in the music events. And I'm like, I don't know if that's really the thing for me. We talked about doing like a festival, like a singer-songwriter festival. I started showing pictures to some of the big hit songwriters down the U.S. I was like, hey, I'll fly you up and we can write songs in the Okanagan, and showing them the picture of the water up here in the wineries. They were like, yeah, I'm down for a weekend vacation. So a lot of the writers come up here and they songwrite for 3 days. They get to perform and they get to hang out on some pontoon boats on the water, and they have a great time. The locals love it. It's such a unique event. If you haven't been to Nashville, they're called rounds, groups of 3. They'll talk about the stories behind the songs, and a lot of them have written big songs, and it's just really neat to have them up here. So it wasn't on the bucket list. It literally just started as like an idea, and now we're launching our first year in Nanoose Bay. We're bringing one on the Vancouver Island as well. It's relaxing. We do it right on the water. They get to hear great artists and great songwriters perform over 3 days. There's over 21 artists performing, so it's really cool. Not only for the artists, but for the fans attending. It's very niche, and I think they're really going to enjoy it. And the lineup is incredible this year. So much talent. Bring a lawn chair, set up, and enjoy the music in a beautiful setting.
I did want to ask you, because you're in a unique position here as a younger guy who's been an independent artist and has been a signed artist. What advice would you give to a younger songwriter or singer coming up these days?
I think whether you're writing for yourself or others, don't be afraid to reach out to writers that have written big songs. Like I've done it. Reach out to artists. Hey, do you want to set up time to write? And a lot of the times they'll say no, but the odd time you'll say yes. The other thing, great songs start with great ideas. If you have a hook, I'm all about song titles. If you have something that's really catchy, writers like myself will just pounce on that, and it just starts the idea. A lot of times I'll go down the Hallmark card aisles and I'll read the cards, and they just do beautiful song titles on those cards. Stuff like that. It doesn't need to be personal. It just needs to be a great idea.
Chris Buck, what a story, and what a lineup he has put together for Boots and Boats on the water in Nanoose Bay with 21 artists over 3 days. Pack a lawn chair and settle in for some fabulous music in a beautiful setting. You'll find links to the Chris Buck Band and the Boots and Boats events in our story notes at thepulsecommunity.ca.
Our Skookum Kid Stories include the Mellow Submarine with Captain Dave and his crew, and Peter and Gracie the Eskimo Dog. Our stories now offering coloring pages to go along with each new episode.
In this week's episode, Captain Dave and Larry the Lobster head to Baines Sound to visit the Dungeness crabs. One is huge. Oh, but I'll let them tell the story. And they also learn a bit about crabs and their environment.
And our Radio Archaeology Classic Radio Series features original episodes of Dragnet, featuring Sergeant Joe Friday and Marshal Matt Dillon in Gunsmoke.
As part of our Pulse Community podcasts, we invite you to join Cindy Thompson of Parksville for a resilience project. Through guest stories, listeners can discover key elements that can move us from surviving to thriving.
Parksville councillors Joel Grenz and Sean Wood present a behind-the-scenes look at municipal advocacy work that directly impacts Vancouver Island taxpayers in their podcast, Nonpartisan Hacks.
You'll find these podcasts and more at thepulsecommunity.ca. And while you're there, sign up for our weekly newsletter. It'll keep you up to date on the latest podcasts, guests, and contests.
We're looking forward to another great week on Mid-Vancouver Island with lots happening and more to come. People are enjoying the great outdoors, the sports fields are busy, and we're all enjoying the ride as the days get warmer and longer.
I can't tell what it's like from inside my garage, Peter. I have to keep an eye out for spiders and other creepy things that might want to climb onto me and go exploring. I'm actually hoping I might find my camp stove. And then I won't have to go so far to whip up a mug of coffee or maybe a bacon sandwich. Oh, great. Now I want bacon.
Hey, folks, thanks for listening. If you have any comments, tips, or questions, please get in touch with us at thepulsecommunity.ca.
So, Peter, what's next for you? Got any plans for the next little while?
Well, did you have something in mind, Dave?
Well, right now it's bacon, but other than that, I have a few items in the garage that I'm going to need some help moving. It shouldn't take more than an hour, maybe 3. Peter, Are you leaving to go to your car and then driving to my house? Is that what's happening, or is that you just walking away? Hey, if you help me, I'll make us bacon sandwiches. Peter. Hey, if you're coming over, would you bring some bread? Oh, and bacon.
Here come Peter, here comes Dave. Oh, listen. Bringing stories, making waves. No missing. Spinning tales in the podcast cave. So laughs and insights everywhere. What a